Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, all, and welcome to this fortnight's installment of the IshPlusSix Podcast, the podcast series where you could discover your next favorite artist. On today's episode, I'm joined by the one and only Tyyuki. Tyyuki is a London-based artist that has been developing his R&B/rap influenced sound since the late 2010s, most recently dropping 3 albums in 1 year. He has proven that he is not here to play any games. You will need to go make sure you check out Yuki's stuff on all platforms, specifically his most recent album 22. And please all welcome Tyyuki to the podcast. Tell us how's it going, what's going on, talk to us.
I'm good, man, I'm good. How you guys doing? You know what I'm saying?
I'm doing all right, man, honestly, yeah, I'm doing all right. I want to make sure I'm pronouncing your name right. It's Tyyuki, right?
Yep, Tyyuki.
Mm-hmm.
The one and only.
Yeah, yes, and so is that cool? Ty.
I rather go by Yuki or Tyyuki, one of the two. Those two slide.
All right, man, no worries. Yeah, Yuki, that's calm. Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're coming to us from, all of that.
So I grew up in Northwest London, you know what I'm saying? I'd say the best way I could describe my music is I would say like melodic. It's melodic rap, you know. So there's bars in there, but I'm really singing them type shit. You know what I'm saying? In my own way, style, flows. So yeah. But you know, Northwest London, born and raised. You know what I'm saying?
The playground. That's where you spend most of your days. Yeah, I feel that, man. I feel that. Yeah, you've seen every single episode, so you know that we always start off with a joke, and today's no different. Let's just get into it, and then we can get into the questions, because yeah, I'm in too deep at this point, and I can't go an episode without doing it at this point. You know what I mean?
All right, let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. The Indian restaurant I work for is so secretive, I had to sign a legal agreement that I wouldn't share their flatbread recipe. Just their standard non-disclosure agreement.
That is probably the worst joke I've heard this week.
That's it this week. So you've heard the worst before this week. Okay, calm. That's fine. As long as... But yeah, okay. Let's get into the questions a little bit more. You mentioned that you make melodic music. I think I heard somewhere mentioning you plug and be or something like that. Yeah. I heard that term get thrown around a little bit more. Mm-hmm. I'm still not entirely sure what that is. I'm assuming it's like a mix of R&B with plug, if I'm understanding correctly. I have no idea what plug is, though. Talk to me a little bit about that.
So I wouldn't describe myself as a plug and be or plug artist, but I do love the sound, and coming from London, like it's an American-based sound that was kind of originated in SoundCloud of some underground artists that kind of blowing it up into a mainstream or more sought after sound. But I admired it, and I said, you know what? I feel like, you know, I'm not American, but I'm British, and I was like, you know what? I feel like I could do something that they can't. So that's what kind of pushed me to kind of start making plug music, and I did drop a plug album called The Virtuoso, and you know, that's probably what you heard, and that's what I released recently, before my most recent project 22. But plug and be is literally a mix of the plug sound, which goes back to like Mexico Drone. This is like the origins of SoundCloud, I would say, or the SoundCloud sound that you hear now. Like plug is definitely one of a big sound in it, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, and it's a mix of R&B. You know, even now you get like you know, like great samples and like, you know, old ass R&B samples with like crazy 808s, like trap 808s. You're like, this is, yeah, that's the plug. That's the plug, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird seeing the similarities with the sampling with drill as well, because drill, I swear to you, I'm glad that drill is on the way out. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because some of these samples are some of the most disgraceful things I've ever seen. Ice Spice is a Ice Spice is one of the biggest perpetrators of this. I swear.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just I've
Yeah.
had enough.
You know what's crazy? I haven't really like heard much of Ice Spice's music
Oh,
type
really?
shit, you know? Yeah, for real. Like I don't know. I very much listen to like what I just listened to. I don't know. Like even in talking about drill, like I do like polls on my Instagram and I ask people like, you know, what do they prefer, UK drill, US drill? Because being from London, I grew up on drill. You know what I'm saying? But I grew up on the original drill, like when drill was kind of on trap beats. Before drill had its own beats, you know, they want like these heavy, hard hitting 808s, like 6/7, you know what I'm saying? Section boys, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I grew up on that kind of sound. So like the new drill when it came in and it was like, you know, these beats, like the 808s are doing the maddest shit. They're cool. They're a definite growth of the original drill sound, but I feel like it's also like put the drill scene in a box.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like you have to sound like this, or the beat has to be like this, and now it's not drill. Whereas before it was just literally the BPM type shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Like the UK music was literally grime or drill. And if it wasn't grime, we just called it drill type shit. And that was it. Now it's just like, you know, it's evolved to what it is, which is cool. But I think what's next in the UK and definitely the London underground scene is this wavy music that a lot of people are jumping on. You know, it's definite big inspirations from, you know, the American side of the world. But it's I mean, America's, you know, they have the biggest entertainment industry, so that's a given. It was always bound to happen. But I do definitely think, like, you know, the UK underground scene is growing, and, you know, grime, it started off with grime, then we had drill, and as you say, you can feel drill coming to an end. And I feel like even now, like most of the underground artists, like, you know, it's all wavy shit. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I will say I was just talking to, I don't know if you know Blame Steez. I was talking to him about it the other day actually, because he was talking about, he kind of sees I suppose the future of especially UK underground moving from this rage kind of angry mosh kind of scene to a more chill kind of thing. I guess everyone's just gonna get a little bit tired, a little bit, you know, I don't know. Everyone's gonna get tired of the moshing, tired of risking their lives every time they go to a gig. Still, you know.
Facts.
And yeah, I don't know. I mean, personally, I see that happening as well. It's like how we're in this whole skinny heroin chic model kind of phase in terms of like body types and that kind of thing. Whereas 5 years ago, if you'd have asked someone in like 2018, even 2016 even, or just the 2010s in general, it was all thick girls, fat and also surprisingly skinny thighs as well for some reason. Just the BBL aesthetic, I suppose. So, you know, it was but now we're moving into something else. So these trends come and go, you know. Yeah,
definitely. I feel like definitely trends come and go. But icons are always solidified. Icons always stay. Like even I remember when Harachis, do you remember when Harachis, like everyone was getting Harachis, and I remember I was like, I used to be broke as shit. I used to be, yo, I want Harachis, and I wasn't getting no Harachis, but it was like my parents were like, you know, Harachis used to be out when I used to be in school, and I used to be like, no, they weren't. Like, what are you talking about? These are the new shoes. Like, you don't know about this shit, but it's like trends come and go. Do you know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
Someone who was wearing like it's weird. Like, bro, I'll be so honest. Like, I didn't even know who Rick Owen was until last year. Like, what do I look like trying to buy Ricks? Like, I'm following a trend that I don't care about. Or like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like it's the same shit. Like, people will go with the trend, and it's not always a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to be a follower of a trend because it's popular for a reason. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not shitting on Ricks. Ricks are fucking cold. Do you know what I'm saying? But I never grew up looking up to Ricks. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just one of those things. But at the end of the day, an icon will always be solidified, because whether I knew or whether Rick Owens was part of a trend, Rick Owens was been doing his shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's only now shit's coming and everyone's like, oh yeah, cool, but he was still doing it, you know. So
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
trends are flimsy. They're like, it's like a wave. You either get with it or you create it, you know?
Yeah, it's weird. It's interesting to see, and you know what is weird because it's difficult to gauge whether I mean, I guess it's kind of difficult, but you can kind of tell that these trends are perpetuated by the music people listen to. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
no one knew who Rick Owens was. I mean, I think A$AP Rocky was probably one of the first. Soulja Boy's probably gonna get pissed off if he sees this, but
Nah, for real.
but A$AP Rocky was probably the first person to mention, one of the first to mention Rick Owens, also Rap
Yeah.
Simmons and all of that. And then obviously, you know, people like Carti, people like Lonely, people like everyone in like this sort of dark opium core aesthetic has started mentioning him more and more. And now people are moving from, you know, the I guess we could say from the Gucci's, the sort of maximalist kind of fashion to this minimalist tone that, you know, things like Rick Owens, I guess Balenciaga is kind of maximalist, but some of their items you could argue, I don't know. But yeah,
But
everyone's moving to this sort of darker aesthetic.
Yeah, facts. But it's all comes from just like inspirations. Like everyone is inspired because we all have a platform now. Like even if your platform is 90 followers or 100,000, 200,000 followers, you know what I'm saying? Like everyone has a platform, so everyone is able to inspire and be inspired. And you know, like you could even say, like, for example, this might not be the case, but let's say Carti influenced Destroy Lonely, and then Destroy Lonely, now they're on the same wave, and then someone else sees that shit, they're like, oh shit, that's hard. So, do you know what I'm saying? And then it becomes a tower of just, this shit's cool, a tower of influence. You know what I'm saying? I think it's cool, but it's different because like this is all social media, and we don't know the long-term effects of social media. Do you know what I'm saying? We're all guinea pigs. Like
Exactly.
We don't know how this is gonna affect us when we're like 70 years old, type shit. Like
exactly. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie. It's interesting what you mentioned about trends. I'll be real with you. These trends, seeing TikTok in particular, is one of the most annoying things when it comes to trends, because I swear, whenever I see people, it's a certain demographic or just a certain style where you can tell that someone got their entire outfit inspiration from TikTok, you know? It's a little bit embarrassing to see, but it's like, you do what you gotta do, I guess.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like you see it and you're like, boy, I can see it all over you, but at the same time, it's like, shit, I can't blame you. Like
exactly, it's that 8-ball stussy thing that I've been seeing lately. That's just been, you know what the thing is though? I haven't seen it once in real life. All of these things that I be attending and all of that, even at uni, even wherever, I've never seen it. So I don't know, but I see it at least once a day on my For You page.
We all kind of see the same thing, the same Y2K styles, and you know, it's funny. It's funny.
It is funny to see. But yeah, you mentioned you sort of see the rage beats, kind of angry aesthetic in music moving to a more wavy kind of thing. Is that similar to like your style, or do you see it? What kind of wavy are we talking about?
So like I feel like wavy more. I feel like more in the sense of UK underground, because how can I put it? I feel like rage, kind of the energy of rage music gives everyone the kind of the energy that they lost in grime, you know? Whereas not, and it's like it's more, you can be a part of it more because it's less about the lyrics. You don't really have to be good at rhyming or freestyling. You just enjoy the energy type shit. And it's not like, it's like rage is like you can do it without being a rock star type shit, because back in the day, if you was a rock star, you was kind of looked down upon. You was part of the minority, you know? And minorities weren't really bigged up, but now it's like it's a majority, so it's easy for everyone to jump on it. But in saying so, I feel like that's where it's losing its hold, because when something becomes majority and starts to become I don't know, it's easier for people to shoot it down, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
people always want to root for the underdog, and I feel like that's where the wavy stuff's coming in. And when I say wavy, I feel like just more melodic rap.
okay.
Like sounds like K Suave, D Savage. Shit, I don't even see. This is the thing. I just know who I listen to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
yeah, I feel that.
it's just like, I can definitely see like people, like even rappy niggas, you know what I'm saying? They're coming on to more like, oh, I can do this too though. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I can do this, but I can, like, everyone wants to show the versatility. And what's really hitting the nail on the head is, I feel like, more melodic shit. I just feel like melodies is just, because, pop music was always the biggest thing on radio. Everyone loves melodies. Everyone loves to sing. And that's the truth.
That is true. Everyone loves a melody, and it's easier to follow than, I guess, I don't know, people will go to what's easiest to listen to for them. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
and as much as I respect him, no one wants to listen to MF Doom 24/7. You know what I mean? Like, no one wants to listen to that lyrical stuff 24/7.
Right.
And
everyone wants versatility. Everyone wants like diversity in whatever they do.
Exactly,
So,
yeah. Do you see your style changing anytime soon, or is it like, are you heavy set on this path you're taking?
I'm heavy set on showing what I'm capable of, because, like, even if I walk you through my journey, like, cool. So I used to go by another artist name,
Yeah.
The Raw H2No. And when I transitioned to Tyyuki, I said, I dropped my project Reborn, which had a lot of diversity in it. And then I dropped Sound of My Heart, which was very, it was more singy, it was more acoustic, it was more, I feel like I have my own sound, and I'm just very hell-bent on just expressing it and just showing everything that I have to do. I'm not really like, I try not to, like, I see the scene, I see everyone, things changing, I know this is this, but like, regardless, I've been on rage beats before they were called rage. Do you know what I'm saying? I've been on rappy, whatever, old school beats, and I've been on acoustic shit. Like, they're all part of my sound. So for me, it's just whatever I decide to make today, rather than, oh, do you know what? I want to make stuff like this. Like, I can open my phone and play 20 acoustic songs that no one's heard, or 20 rage songs that no one's heard. And, it's funny, like, a lot of people, like, another thing that I feel like people forgot about is like hyperpop.
Yeah. I did want to talk about that a little bit, actually.
I was a big fan of hyperpop. I have a lot of hyperpop music and unreleased projects that are just sitting there. And it's like, I can release that tomorrow, and it's like, oh, you're the hyperpop sound now, So it's like, I feel like personally, it's important to observe trends, but I'm more focused on just setting them. And by setting them, I kind of just appreciate them, not totally ignore them, but just do my own thing. Like, do what makes me feel comfortable. Just,
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting you mentioned hyperpop, because, and your first, I say first, I mean, I'm assuming it's your first album, Reborn. When I was listening to it, I did find it a little bit difficult to sort of pinpoint one sound that like you sort of emanated throughout the whole thing. But I did feel that your delivery, the beats, were in general a bit harder than your recent stuff. Your recent stuff has been a bit softer, the lyrics, that kind of thing. It's been a bit more, a bit smoother, if that makes sense. So, I was just curious about like what warranted that change, what led you down this path of softer music.
Well, honestly, I'm happy that you mentioned that and you brought that up, because, something that I haven't spoken about recently, but when I was making Reborn, it was about, I feel like it was a good year or maybe like 6 months of recording. just a bunch of songs, and that whole time I was extremely heavily depressed and suicidal. So even now when I listen to it, I'm like, I'm like, okay, like it's a lot more raw, it's a lot more like straight. It was just like, I don't know, it was just how I was feeling, you know, and it was definitely captured when I was recording. So I feel like that was what really made that shit hit a bit harder, you know. I definitely shout out to Illustrious George. He produced every song. And yeah, his sound was just definitely like the concoction during that time was just perfect to create what was created. I feel like now, like the change in my music has just kind of been I don't know really. Honestly, I don't know. I just kind of been dropping. I've been trying new things. I've just been trying to create my sound. And I feel like I've done so. But I also want to show the journey that it took to get there, you know, before I then show too much of it. But I feel like a good example so far would probably be songs like Movie.
Off of
Off the
22.
Beans. Yes. Off the Beans, Brave, and Nostalgia 2009. But I definitely have some cool stuff coming, like Three Bugger. I've got songs like Hunter x Hunter. These are like unreleased songs that I think definitely hit the nail on the head of my sound. But at the same time, I can always do hard hitting shit like Reborn because it's always a part of me, you know? It's always a part of me. It's just wherever I decide to make today.
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't mind me asking, how did you manage to pull yourself out of that, I suppose, that headspace that you were in at the time of recording Reborn?
Yeah. So
I mean, we don't have to get too deep into it, but it's
no, it's cool. I want to talk about it, but I will say, you know, so at the time I had got kicked out, I was homeless, I had no money, I felt like I had no friends, I felt like the people who I had around me were just, couldn't really trust them, and I was kind of confused. I was very much in a state of like confusion, which is kind of funny to me now, but yeah, and going through it, it's very hard. Like, life is hard, and when you look at it day by day, it's like, it's very daunting. It's harder because you're going through the shit, you know? But when I like look over it in a set of like, from this month to that month, okay, it's gonna be hard, but like once this is over, I can then move forward. It made it a lot easier. It's like, sometimes you gotta look at the bigger picture. Like, I was walking around and like I was seeing different houses and like the way people were living and then the way how I was living, and it made me realize like I didn't truly know what I wanted. I didn't have a goal, so what I was working towards wasn't solid. So nothing I had was solid. So I kind of had to really look at myself and work out what I wanted, and then essentially just build a state of relentlessness to achieving what I wanted and what I deserved, because no one in life is going to give that to you. And, you know, anyone who helps you along that journey, you can consider them your friend. You know what I'm saying? And anything other than that, it's just like, you know, you just kind of got to focus on you and just do what's best for yourself. In the healthiest way, of course, you know, healthy for you and other people. But yeah, definitely like, yeah, shit was tough.
Absolutely, man. And honestly, I have to respect you being able to get out of that headspace, because it can be difficult. You know, I know it can be difficult for people, but no, honestly, I'm glad to have you here now, though, for real. Because
Thank you.
hey, listen, 22 was a banger, so you know, it's
I appreciate that.
I'm playing, but yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah.
Cool. So I want to talk a little bit about your visuals as well, actually. There was one track that you dropped the other day. Not track, but a video you dropped the other day.
Yes.
The name escapes me, but I just
Nothing like Yuki.
nothing like that. I think that might have been the one. It sort of had an aesthetic similar to I guess testing era Rocky, ASAP Rocky that is, and also sort of like I guess some of I don't know if you know Gaspar No, French film director. He directed film called Climax, film called Irreversible, that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
I found that sort of like you guys had similar aesthetics basically, and I'm just curious as to who your biggest visual influences are, that kind of thing.
Honestly, shit. I'll be real. I don't really think about this shit. I yeah, I don't really think about this shit. Like in terms of like visuals, I don't really like. Okay, cool. When I create visuals for my songs, I'll listen to them and then I just picture nothing. And then I try like everything is black, and then I say, okay, what comes to my mind? Like what comes to me, and then whatever comes, I'm like, okay, cool. How can I recreate that? Or how can I make that real? Or how can I make it seem like what I just imagined? You know? And I don't know, cause I draw too. I like to draw. Like I do a few different types of like artistic things. So I try to use all those different elements to create my visual, or when it comes to creating my visuals. And, you know, I do have to say a big thank you to my team, like the people who helped me create my shit, because a lot of the time, like honestly, like it's like a 40-second voice note of me like, yo, we need to do this, and I want it to look like this, and you know, they make it happen. You know, make it happen every time, or we at least do our best to aim there. You know. So yeah.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, and it's crazy to see because like obviously that the switch between even the album covers from Reborn to the Virtuosos to the Virtuosos plural to 22 is crazy to see. Like you can see the difference between all of them.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, was that you who did the album cover for Reborn?
Reborn. No, so that was my friend Johnny. He did the Reborn cover. He's fantastic. He's great. Very talented guy. Yeah, he helped me with that. We and him are actually working on a comic together.
Oh, swear.
I say a comic. It's more of a book, and it's lit. But yeah, Virtuoso was created by X Rizal. She's a great artist, and she's actually working on most of my recent stuff that's coming. So she's done Virtuoso, she's done 22, and we are working on my latest project, which is Transcendence and something else. But you know, everything will be revealed soon. But yeah.
Heard it here first, guys. Transcendence and something else. The names of Yuki's new projects.
It's gonna be crazy. It's definitely, trust me, like the new stuff is definitely my sound.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to me about your creative process as well, because you mentioned going to the studio and working and having a bunch of tracks, like sort of in a vault, I guess. How do you put together an album or a project? Do you just pick and choose from those ones that you made, or is it do you get into the album headspace, the album mode, as people say? What's the situation for you?
I'll be real, you know, I feel like album mode is some bullshit. I'll be dead ass. Like, I don't even know what like people mean when they say album mode. Like, like I'm very much like, because what you have to understand is before you're a creator, you're a consumer. You know, so you listen to albums and the way how songs, you know, one after the other, how they're put together, how they're sequenced, can change whether you enjoy a song or not. So like, you have to understand, my dad's a DJ, and my whole life I've been listening to music, and so I'll hear a song and then the next one comes, oh yeah, I like that, you know, and whatnot. But the way how I kind of listen to my songs, it's kind of like that. I'll literally just listen to my music, and then I'll go from one song to the next, and I might be like, oh, those two sound really good. Like, I like that transition, so I need to pick a song like that into that, and yeah, it's always visual for me too. Like, I'll listen to my music and I'll be like, okay, I see a cover that looks like this, or I see this color, or I see this outfit that I've worn, and then I see, I kind of slowly bring it together. And like the way how I'll put together a project, like even how I'm doing Transcendence right now is I'll make like a list of all the songs that I feel like work with that word, So I have the title, which is Transcendence. Cool. What is Transcendence? What songs is giving me that vibe? Okay, what imagery am I seeing for this? Okay, how do I want the songs to go through? Do I want it to start strong? Do I want it to be, what journey am I taking you? What story am I telling you? And then it's finding the pieces or the characters to create that story, which are the songs. And the best way I sequence them is I just consistently listen to them, and work out where each one is supposed to be and how they complement each other, and just hope for the best in that aspect, really.
Absolutely, that makes perfect sense, to be fair. And I feel like it's weird how when you listen to an album enough times, like in a chronological order, you can almost hear the next song playing before it plays.
And that happens to me a lot with my music. Like, it's so bad. Like, I'll listen to a song and then instantly I know what's supposed to come next. Like, it's crazy. But it's like a reminder to let me know, like, okay, I think this is right.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. It's a really, I don't know, it's a really good way of making music, because I don't know if you know JPEG Mafia, the rapper JPEG Mafia. He's sort of like experimental kind of. He's underground, but the way he produces an album is he will produce rap over a bunch of beats and then just pick out the 10, 15, 20 that he likes the most and put them on the album, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. But
sometimes simplicity works, I can definitely, I hear that.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy because it always shakes me a little bit when I hear about all of these artists having their entire vault leaked to the public, and like I'd be on Twitter like, oh wow, so and so had their vault leaked, and the number is just stupid. The number of tracks that leaked is just stupid. You know what I mean? Like 400 tracks, this many gigabytes. I'm like, gigabytes? Like, what do you mean?
Facts. Like how?
It's crazy. Like it's crazy. How? I guess when it's your 9 to 5 or just like your day to day, I guess it makes sense. But still, gigabytes of work is crazy.
Yeah, honestly, that's crazy to me. I don't know how rappers like be getting their shit leaked, because I'm a gatekeeper. I'm gatekeeper with what I wear, where I go, who I'm with, and definitely my music. Like, shit I make. Like, honestly, I don't know. I feel like I care too much. Like, back in the day, I wouldn't even share shit on Instagram, because like, if I didn't get enough replies from people, I'd be like, some shit. I don't even want to finish it. So I was just like, you know what? I stopped doing that shit. But I feel like not sending your shit to people is good, because a song is it's a creation, but it's also a product. And you don't want to give the product to someone or have someone experience a product in a way that you didn't want it to be digested, or when it's unready, So most of the time, I like to save my music for people's ears for when it's out. I want you to listen to it while looking at the cover that I've created that perfectly goes with it, not just a black screen, or not just, I don't know, while you're scrolling looking through fucking Ice Spice's Instagram or some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want it to be perfect. Not perfect, but how I want it to be, So, and in doing so, I don't really have tracks leaked. I mean, I don't feel like I have, the attention for people to even want to leak my tracks, but I feel like that's really how it happens, just sending shit to people or studios, and I don't know, man. That's just, it's very alien to me, but it's crazy. Gigs,
yeah. I do want to talk a little bit about your live performances as of recent. I'm upset that I didn't manage to come to any. I'm not gonna lie to you. It plays on my mind. It's like I don't know. I get serious FOMO when I see it on people's stories as well. I'm like, wow, this gig actually looked pretty sick. But yeah, I want to talk about your live performances as of recent. You've had a couple. What is something they don't tell you before you go onto stage?
Shit. Okay. Something that I'd like to share is I'm a very anxious person. You know, I'm a very anxious person. So every time I go on stage, I'm terrified. I'll be very honest. I'm always nervous. And I feel like, I don't know if everyone feels that way, but that's definitely something like you always have those butterflies. You always, this is not for everyone, but once you start expressing, they go, you know, they go. And it just becomes easier. It doesn't stay hard. It doesn't stay, it's not scary for long, you know, but it is definitely, it's like, you know, that feeling you get when you're in school and it's like, you're in class and you're friends with everyone, like, or you're cool with everyone, like you've known these lot for how many years now, and the teacher asks you to come up and read something, you're like, chill out, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't trying to do that shit, but it's kind of that feeling. But then once you start, you're kind of just like, I don't give a fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, this shit's lit, you know?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's kind of like that. That's the best way I could describe it. But something that they tell you that they don't tell you, I don't know. Like, it's weird. It's a weird feeling. It always feel weird. That's definitely one thing. Being on stage will always feel weird. And I think that's just, it depends on what's your comfort zone. Like, I like to entertain people as much as I like to. I'm still anxious always, you know? So that for me is just like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of stuff that I'd imagine plays on your mind even after the gigs, especially just like, oh, I missed this person when I was just doing the friggin' wave of high five. I don't know, man. Like that kind of thing.
I will say this, yeah. That stuff will always come through into your mind, but live with no regrets. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is your energy and your intention, you know? Like, even the other day I was walking and I saw someone who knew me, and like they must have like tried to say hi to me twice, and I ignored them twice. And then after, it was only the second time I was like, wait, I think that person was saying something to me. So I just went back and was like, yo, how you doing? You know? And just gave them like a spud, whatever. And, you know, I feel like the 2 times I ignored them don't matter, because I didn't do it on purpose, you know? I just didn't clock. It's kind of like the same shit. Like, it's just your intention in life, you know? Like, you can miss someone's dap, or, you know, you could, shit, maybe I shouldn't have stepped on that shoe, but like, I didn't mean to. My bad, you know, it is what it is. Who gives a fuck? Live with no regrets, you know? Like,
exactly.
As long as you're not out for anyone else's demise, you know? Like, shit. Ain't shit.
I mean, I do want to talk about obviously your clear interest in anime, that kind of thing. You've made a couple of references in the past. You got friggin' Naruto on the. No, I'm playing.
Yeah, boy, you know.
Man, yeah, nah. You got that Goku. I've never watched Dragon Ball Z, but that is Goku, right? That is Goku.
This is Goku. Yes, okay. This is Goku. I've got tattoos. Yeah, man. I don't know. I like anime a lot, but yeah.
All of that, man. Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about that before we sort of close off a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about your favorites. Yeah, let's just talk a little bit about that.
Okay, for sure. So I would definitely say my favorite anime of all time would be Hunter x Hunter. And then that's surprising for a lot of people because I have so much Dragon Ball Z merch. Like I have socks, pajamas, courtesy of my girlfriend, this blanket, tattoo. But Hunter x Hunter is it for me personally. It's just fucking good. Then I'd say Soul Eater next because it's just crazy. I feel like I don't know, man. I don't know. I like anime. I like it a lot. Like, funny story actually. I didn't even know what anime was. Like, I had watched Dragon Ball Z up to the Frieza arc, and I was talking to my friend about it, and I was like, "Yo, Dragon Ball Z is bare cold, you know." Da 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 da. He's like, "Yeah. So you like anime, innit?" And I was like, "What's anime?" And it's like, "Oh, Dragon Ball Z, you know." This. I was like, "Bro, that's a cartoon. What are you talking about?" He's like, "Nah, bro, you like anime." Like, I didn't know. So when I found out, I was like, "Okay, say nothing. Let me find out more about this shit." And then from that day, never went back. Been on it.
Just set the ball rolling, yeah.
On it, yeah.
I mess with that. I'm not gonna lie, for me personally, I didn't start off with like the classics like Dragon Ball Z or Naruto or anything like that. I started with Attack on Titan back in like 2013 when it first came out. No. When it first came out, not like,
yeah, because I watched it too. Did you watch it on Netflix?
No, it doesn't matter where I watched it. What the...
Okay.
All that matters is that I watched it from the jump. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know what's going on anymore. I'll be so real with you. It's just it's just politics at this point, just jargon, and I'm like, what is this? I haven't known what's been going on for like the past 10 episodes.
You know, I watched it when it first came out, the first season, then the second season, then I started reading. It was the first manga I read.
Yeah.
And I got to the end it was like halfway through the third season, and that's all they had written. And I was like, I finished it, bro. I'm done. Like, yo, this is calm. And my friend was like, nah, bro. Like, you gotta wait a month, then the next chapter's gonna come out. I said, I'm finished, innit? I'm not doing any more. Next show. But yeah, the shows continued, and I'm sure you saw last year the hype, was incredible.
The hype was crazy, yeah.
Which honestly, I'm quite happy for it because it's nice to see anime get love,
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of just backed away from the show because I was like, I don't want to get spoiled. I don't want to watch it because of the hype. I watched it before this shit, So
yeah,
I haven't even seen it yet up till now. So I kind of just want to watch it when, it don't really matter. Just watch that shit.
I get you. There's a couple of people I know that don't play when it comes to stuff like One Piece. And they'll be like,
really?
I swear to you, and they'll be like, bro, I swear, after the first like 300 episodes, it gets who's got time for that? I'm sorry.
I'll be real. I did try to watch One Piece. I got to like 100 and something.
100 and something,
Yeah, I got to like 100. I got to like 100 and something. I was like, but I'll be real, the show is banging. Like, the show is good. Like, those 100 episodes, yeah, I'll be so real. Like, you have your character going in episodes, and bro, it's a good show. But it's just like, you only watch it if you want to watch it. And that's why I also don't recommend Naruto to people. I don't. You can only watch that show if you actually want to watch it, because it's so long and so boring until it's not boring that it's just like,
Exactly. You need context, and it's just like I don't have time to get context. I just want to see people scrap. You know what I mean?
Exactly. My favorite genre of anime would be romance.
Romance, okay.
Yeah. And the reason why I say that because I've watched over 200 anime series, like just individual shows, right? I would say not most of them, but I've definitely watched over like thousands of episodes. And what I've noticed about anime is it's like, for example, Seven Deadly Sins, right? the show is heavily romance influenced because the storyline goes off action, right? There's lots of action, there's lots of great animated scenes, fighting, this, that, and the third, but really and truly it's just one big love story, you know, between Meliodas and Elizabeth. And, you know, I'm not gonna dish out any spoilers, but it's just like that. And that for me kind of carries the show because it's lit. Like everything is around that, you know? So sometimes romance shows are really good because I just like to chill and just watch it, you know? And half of the time it's like, okay, romance will drive the story. That's why it's a romance anime, but you still have action. You still have comedy to a very, very like high level where you're just watching the show and you're just enjoying it. And the show's just driven by romance. So the story will continue through romance, but you're still experiencing everything else. And I feel like that's what makes a good show, rather than I'm waiting for this fucking like dialogue to finish for these niggas to start scrapping. Do you know what I'm saying? Like Dragon Ball Z, like whole anticipation, just waiting for these niggas to shut the fuck up and fight. You know what I'm saying?
Swear, people just be chatting just for entire episodes. You know?
So it's nice watching something where you're not waiting for a fight. You just want to see what happens type shit. It's more, I enjoy those way more. Personally.
Yeah, exactly. I do have a couple more questions before we head off. What can we expect to see next from Tyyuki for, I mean, I guess short term, next couple of months, and then the rest of the year? We're only in February right now. So talk to me, what can we expect to see?
You can expect to see 2 projects this year. That's definitely what I'm aiming for. Visuals on a crazy standard, you know, like I got a few videos just sitting, and you know, I definitely feel like people will be fucking with it. More collaborations, because I've had collabs since like 2019. That's just like sitting on my computer, and this is the year where everything's coming out. So everything, like even the Hyperpop Vault, like Rap Vault, everything is coming out. Everything is we're going up. You know what I'm saying? Definitely shows, traveling, and just a whole bunch of music.
Absolutely, man. I'm gassed to see it. I'm gassed to hear it as well, because honestly, for what you've put out so far, with especially the virtuosos, it's just been, I don't know, it's been crazy. It's been crazy to hear. So,
thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Everything from this point onwards is going to be like jaw dropping, I'd say.
One more question before I let you go on your way. You are heard by everyone on Earth for 10 seconds. What do you say?
That's a good question. that's a good closer. Shit. Be yourself, love yourself, and love everyone, because at the end of the day, none of this matters anyways. Let's make it worthwhile. That's it. You know
Absolutely, man. Yeah, that's very real. I appreciate that. Do you know what? I think that's a really good place to close off this episode. Yeah, I'll close it off there. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to this episode of the IshPlusSix Podcast, the podcast series where you know the rest. Do you have anything you'd like to say before we close up?
Tyyuki, you know what I'm saying? Follow me if you don't follow me already, you know what I'm saying? Skelly every day, you know what I mean? Hey, check out 22, it's out now. It's probably going to be the best thing you've heard this week. Then you realize the best thing you heard this year, and then you go hear the next shit. You know what I'm saying? So let's go.
100%. I can vouch, guys. Make sure you listen to 22. My personal favorite tracks are Hotels, Movie, and Nostalgia 2009. Make sure you guys go check it out. All platforms. And yeah, listeners, keep it real, and I will see you later, alligators.